Hey, what up, guys? So, another episode coming at you right after I got off my day job. As you can see, my hands are a little dirty. I'm a little dirty. I've been working on cars today, but I'm back with my setup. I was actually at my girlfriend's place helping her recover from an injury. But other than that, she is doing better. So I've been moving my stuff back to my spot. I'm still probably going to be over there, so bouncing back and forth between locations. But other than that, things are just pretty good. That's why I haven't been posting. Life pops up, family emergencies, all that stuff. So you got to look after your loved ones. But coming back, I got the news yesterday that Max Holloway and Justin Gaethje are going to be scrapping it up at UFC 300. I think there's a lot of speculation over UFC 300 and just how, a lot of people were thinking it was lackluster for a 100 event, right? Like 200, 100, 300. You want to do something special. Even UFC 200 kind of had its main event soured a little bit, but they remade it back in UFC 214. Excuse me. Ugh. But this time, I think they've really outdone themselves. Now we are going to have a strawweight title fight between Zhang Wei Li and the other Chinese woman in the division. I don't want to butcher her name, but we are going to also be watching Gaethje versus Holloway as I think like a main event, which you know what I'm down with. I think it's a very highly marketable fight and it's a treat for the fans. But as someone who understands MMA statistics and how these fighters match up or how they're potentially going to match up, I honestly think it's just an easy win for Justin Gaethje to retain his BMF belt because I think it's cool that the BMF belt is now on the line. It gives it a little more value. It doesn't devalue it because I remember Jorge Masvidal had the BMF belt for the longest time, and it was such a marketing tool. Even though he lost to Usman twice, was having trouble with his fights. So I don't know why he got to keep that. But with Gaethje versus Holloway, it is an interesting matchup. I don't want to count Holloway out all the way, but I just don't see him winning this fight. Just knowing that Gaethje has eclipsed people like Dustin Poirier now, who have beaten Holloway twice. Gaethje's a dangerous threat, and his game is shot up from 0 to 60. Just working with Trevor Whitman and fine tuning all of his skills. Like he said in his interviews, he wanted to try less, and he's been having more success. And you know what? That's actually very true. When you're not putting pressure and you're just letting your skills develop naturally, you're on the right path. You're going to be putting yourself on the right path even more. But Max Holloway, I don't know how he's going to do. I know he's not really a 155er. He's more of a 145er, and he's still got a lot of potential in the top as that number one contender gatekeeper. I honestly believe that he probably can win this fight if he relies on his precision striking. But since Justin Gaethje has tightened up his game so much, it's so much harder. Like even guys like Dustin Poirier were getting frustrated in that second fight. I really think Holloway though does have that status as that top guy in the featherweight because even I was worried in his fight against Arnold Allen, how is it going to stack up? Because if Volkanovski put enough damage on him, then obviously he's not going to come back the same, just like Tony Ferguson against Gaethje. But I think that Tony Ferguson, that was a different story. Holloway still got a little more tread in the tires, even after beating like his third fight with Volkanovski, which I think shocked a lot of us. But after seeing how he came back against Arnold Allen and really gave him a run for his money and came out on top, I'm honestly a believer that Max Holloway still has a lot left to give. Now, he's not running for the 145 title anymore, okay? And he should be focusing on that time doing money fights because a lot of those guys in that era are getting older for MMA fighters. Now, not for life, but MMA is a sport that passes us up. And when we see the generations pass on super fast all the time, it's just a lot to withhold. It's like a nostalgia trip. Like we used to, you know, watch these guys when we were 16 and now that we're like all adults and stuff like 12 years later they're on their way out. You know what, thank you for inspiring us all. So Max Holloway should be doing those marketable fights with guys from his age group just because I don't really see gold in the thing because if he takes on Islam Makhachev, Islam's going to probably make short work of him too just because that wrestling, and I don't really expect Islam to do anything but wrestle these guys to the ground or strike with them, but even then his striking's super dangerous. But I'm I don't know how this is going to stack up for Max, but I am glad that he's taking that let's do the marketable thing for, even though Dustin Poirier, I want to see him face a stud like Benoit. I really do think that Dustin should go for a money fight, like a easy fight against Conor McGregor for a fourth time or something like that. Um, but I do like when Max Holloway is just saying, "Hey, you know what? I don't know how much time I got left in here. I've been having a really good run of it," and he has. So he's picking the marketability. He's picking what's going to set him and his family up, and I can't really blame him for that. They are here to make money after all, and sometimes the belt, it's so overvalued. And yeah, it's the best guy in the division, obviously at the time. Sometimes there's paper champs, but you really can't blame Max for going for this, at least just because it's going to bring fans to the seats. But I do really think Justin Gaethje is probably going to win by like a first or second round TKO, just because that guy has just become a wrecking machine. But other than that, I can't really be against this fight because the internet has been cheering for it, and I don't want to be a contrarian and say, "Oh, there's no right." I just think I already feel like the results painted, and we could all see the writing on the wall. But the fans have been asking for it, and thank you, Dana, for putting this one together. Peace out.